takes a look at some of de Kooning's sculpture as well. And the curator was commenting that he thought that there might have been some influence from people like Giacometti in de Kooning's sculpture. Maybe Fontana too. If this is Clam Digger. Here we got some of his small sculptural studies. And as I understand it from the biography, that a lot of this work, a lot of his sculptures were actually done in this scale, and then he would have them blown up. Well, my batteries are running down, so we're going to have to hurry through the rest of the show. These are probably more de Kooning landscapes from the 70s. And I remember seeing a show of these at Xavier Fourcade Gallery maybe in 1980 or 81. It's really nice. There's some of his large drawings and the high-heeled shoes. More sculpture. Untitled. 1977. So this is 1980, and this is about the period when people start to become suspicious or concerned about whether or not de Kooning is really suffering from some type of dementia, and whether or not he's having a lot of his assistants work on the pieces. So this gallery is titled 1981 to 1987, The Last Paintings. And one of the qualities about these is that these have definitely been scraped down. It's almost like he's shaving these down to their essence. Now, there was a major exhibition of these paintings at Gagosian's that we snuck in and took video of. I guess it's been about 4 years ago.
Well, speaking of the 80s, I think it's important to address the so-called late paintings, which you've clearly given a great deal of attention to and a lot of prominence in terms of the number you've chosen to display. And how do you situate the relationship to the early work, especially the work in the 70s, and where do you locate it in terms of his own sort of ongoing artistic process?
Well, we know that in 1978 he saw an exhibition which included quite a number of the paintings from 1977, 1975. The kind of paintings which are in a broad array in the gallery immediately preceded the gallery of the Lowry. And I think that they're just amazing pictures. And de Kooning, there could have been 3 times that number of pictures in the exhibition without any drop in quality or achievement. And de Kooning knew that he said he felt he could do no wrong, which for him was the point where he had to stop doing it. And he deliberately stopped making these kind of paintings, fell into a kind of trough into doing what he really wanted to do. His drinking became worse, and at this point, his estranged rival Elaine reappeared and helped to get him back together, stopped him drinking, brought in great studio assistants, and he came out of it. In 1980, although he didn't paint many pictures, he painted some great pictures. And I think the 2 works in phthalo green, which are just at the left leading into the art gallery, are just quite amazing things. I mean, anyone who's been in art student knows that if there's anything you stay away from, it's colours like phthalo green, which are really impossible for us to do. But he put him into painting these sort of flat ribbon forms, which is what happens in the paintings in 1981 and 1982. And I think at that point, he really has moved into a period which is very distinctly different to really anything. We want us to go back and think, where does this come from? And the typologies of paintings are reminiscent of very early pictures. The 50s pictures have some of these structures. What is new is the thinness of the pen surface and the kind of illumination. Some people see this as in looking back to Gorky. I think that it's a whole mixture of things which he's been able to bring together. And then he gradually evacuates from the painting the very subjective paintedness which is characteristic of the preceding work. And this becomes characteristic of this increasingly stripped-down style of the 80s. When the paintings were first exhibited in the early part of the decade, they had overwhelmingly positive responses. Retrospectively, when in 1989 the artist was declared incompetent, owing to some kind of dementia. What develops is some kind of retrospective valuing of these pictures as suggesting that he wasn't fully in control of them, or that the studio assistants had more role in them than studio assistants had in earlier work. My sense is that these questions were fully answered by the exhibition that Gary Garles and Rob Storr did, which was at MoMA 10 years ago. I went back through these issues in the introduction to the catalogue and in the entry on these pictures in the catalogue, and I feel that there's no issues to be involved in, to be answered in this respect. He was an artist who, with all of the paintings which were shown here, was in the studio making considered aesthetic decisions about the work. And if in his daily life he was less capable which he was at the end, certainly after 85, 86. He was one of these people who had great cognitive reserve, which we find in conceptualists, others who have done intellectually demanding repetitive activity over many, many years, who are capable of producing at that level, even if they have debility in other parts of their life. And I think, for me, that these late works are not only extraordinarily beautiful, but also the very fact of the subjectivity seeming to come out of the pictures really have that quality of liberation which one finds very rarely at times in the late work of artists, Beethoven, artists, some others, which give particularly power to things. And for me, there are paintings in that last room which was fully as strong and important as really anything in the exhibition. I feel they're just big things.
Actually, I like the spareness of these. And he's gone from his thick slabs, his thick brushstrokes, back to a more linear compositions here. It's titled Conversation, 1987. Untitled, 1985. These are probably the two sparest works in the show. This is James Kalm reporting on Willem de Kooning, a retrospective here at the Museum of Modern Art. Thanks, Kate.